All right, so here's what we're working on this week, guys. We have been. This has been a project I've been fighting for a while. We've been fighting with this project for a while. So this is what we're gonna do. We are going to crack it out. We're gonna make it. This doesn't look too bad. It's gonna look like that. It's not amazing, but it's for wearing a hood. It's gonna be permanently glued in, which is not what the client wanted, to be honest with you, but it's kind of what works the best for me to finish the product in the first place. So we're gonna finish this mask tonight. We're gonna finish this helmet mask thing tonight. Trust me. Yes, Doom. It is Doom. Yeah, I mean it's a Doom mask. Yeah, it's you'll like this. It's based on the Fortnite Doom. Sadly, that is the clearest 3D representation of Doom that I could find on the internet. So this mask is heavily inspired from Doctor Doom's look in the hit game Fortnite. So this is what we're building. This is what we're working on. Last week we were able to make this in like 2 days, and I was really impressed with that. And I was able to do like everything. And then this is much more simple than this, obviously. This is like 4 pieces. This is like 30 or something. So I'm very happy with that. But knowing that I could make progress as fast as I really needed to by making this, because I had something I wanted to do for the 4th of July. I wanted to be a U.S. agent. It made it way easier to do that because I was passionate about the character, because I liked it, and now we have to do that for Doom. Except I'm not necessarily. I mean, Doom is a cool character. I'm not necessarily passionate about the character. Yes, I will not be singing that song. It is catchy though. I'm not necessarily passionate about Doom, but somebody else is passionate about Doom, and they're so passionate they commissioned me to make this. So I need to channel their passion for the character into my skills and my labor to finish the build, because I have had the build at like 65% done for months now. So our biggest thing here is getting the prop shop ready, because I kind of went live without much of a plan. We need to fill in some holes here. So this Doom mask is tough, because if I go too down, the face is going to start looking flat, and I don't want to go too far out. The face will start looking narrow. So it's this nice, I don't know what to say, but we're gonna find that just right. We're gonna go do the classic, the bears and the porridge, and Goldilocks is gonna have her just right Doom mask. I fixed a huge problem with the face looking wide because I shortened up these side cheekbones here. You can sort of tell because this X used to be in the middle. Now it's much higher up, but I think that still looks fine. Now, also as well, I have done some research into how to remove extra, what's it called? These bits here. You see where it's a little yellowed in there? That's contact cement. So it can kind of ruin a paint job sometimes. So I did some more research into how to remove contact cement. So before I paint this bad boy, we will be removing all that gunk off of it, which is awesome. So we got a piece right here we need to fill. Let me grab my ruler. The section of mask we need to fill is about a little more than 4.5 inches at its widest. It's going to be a little more than 1 inch. So we can do that. 4.5 inches by 1 inch. I think we're just going to put it on the inside. We're going to add more layers to this mask. And I think it should look fine. I think adding layers is good. Oh, awesome. Justin, thanks for popping in. I appreciate it, but if you got D&D to play, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do. 4 inches long by 1 inch. Do I have a Sharpie? I do have a Sharpie, and it's black Sharpie. It's our favorite color Sharpie. Slightly more than 1 inch. It's 1 inch and a speck. Does that make sense? Sure hope it does. 4 inches long. Okay. This is good stuff. Trust me, this is good stuff. Alright. Coolio. We've got our chunk that we need to cut off. Making sure we are as perpendicular, that's up and down, as we possibly can be. Let's see. I'm not in love. I'm not in love with some of these cuts. I think they're a little rough looking. Not gonna lie. I don't know how on earth we did it, but somehow we did not cut a 4-inch piece. How strange. How incredibly strange. I'm gonna grab some foam that's easier to work with. There we go. It's way easier. We're gonna do it on a relatively flatter piece. See if we can try not to biff it as much. I'm going to draw arrows for which lines I want to cut along as well. There we go. So sometimes I won't always measure on the outside like I will for a ruler. Sometimes if I then take my ruler like this and I draw a line here, that means I'll have to cut on the inside. So because I drew 4 lines last time, I got a little confused. I confused myself and had to mess with some stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is my little area. This is my little world. It's been my little world for about almost 3 years now, which is a little shocking to me, but I enjoy it. I love it. I've gotten a little bit better. I went from having cardboard boxes full of tools to having an old metal filing cabinet full of, see? And I drew these arrows and I still cut on the inside. Goodness gracious. But that's still more than 4 inches long because I knew I would screw up. Perfect. That's why we draw arrows, so we can blatantly ignore them. But that's also why we have more material than necessary, so when we blatantly ignore something, it still turns out okay-ish. So we're basically going to put that piece on the inside right here, and then we're going to use that to connect the jaw. So I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it 4.5 inches by 1.5 inches. just so that way we absolutely have the space we need. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we kind of do be getting there. I just want to make sure we have too much versus too little. Now with this, I'm going to be cutting along the inside. Draw an arrow. Then this side, I know I'm cutting on the outside. It wants to be 4.5. Perfect. Well, let's see if we can actually cut it correctly this time. I don't. You know, I honestly should. I've been wanting to do a separate YouTube thing besides Dial H for HeroClix for a while, but I've never been super great at editing and uploading. I probably could re-upload these to YouTube, and some people might get a little bit out of them. But this is just my process. I'm not the best. I'm not the worst. But this is purely my building process and how my brain goes through it. And then on Facebook, it's easy because I don't have to build a following. I have my friends and family who are normally, I would say, pretty genuinely interested in this stuff. Versus on YouTube, I would have quite a few live streams that would be nothing. But I think re-uploading them would be the magic trick there. And people could get something out of it. You know, I'm not anyone who's crazy good, but how does that work? Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That'll give us exactly how much space we need. So now we're going to trace this piece. Normally I don't like tracing pieces because then it's like, you know, it's so far gone from the original. You really should just use original measurements, etc. But we're going to trace this piece only because it's bigger than it needs to be, which means if we don't cut it to totally exactly perfect, that's fine. So we need to cut that wall and that wall. Adding some arrows, cutting the top wall and that wall from the inside, just so we know. But I might start uploading these to YouTube because just earlier today, I went through and on my Calder Nest personal YouTube account that I used to comment on videos and whatever, I just uploaded a ton of videos that were in my phone just so I could delete them off my phone. So they're all unlisted videos or whatever. Yeah, Joe, that would be cool. So Joe is saying, I mean, if you can't read this in the comments, saying he's got some experience multiple platforms. I'm really bad at technology. People always ask me, why don't you have a 3D printer? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? You know, why don't you do this, laser cutting, all this jazz, right? And the reason is because I'm bad at technology and I personally don't want to get better with it. And I know that's sad and it's a stubborn, backwoodsy way to sound, but that's honestly how I feel. I like this. I don't know how to make patterns, so I'll take other people's patterns and then I will mess with them and mess with the measurements once I print them out on paper and draw new stuff, whatever. But I'm not going to go in and do that with Photoshop or a Pepakuru file or any of that. I can't do that. Technology has never been my friend, and I've never been good at it, and it's just the way it is. But yeah, any help with that stuff is awesome. I would super appreciate that. You know, especially if people think they can get some value out of it. Because I just do this every once in a while because I like ranting. That's just the way it is. That's just, yeah, it's just what I like to do. So I like these pieces. We are first going to glue them right up next to that piece. And then we'll glue this face piece to that piece to fill in that gap. Now, once we do that, the head has a lot of playroom. This is obviously bigger than a normal person's head, and I'm mostly making that because I kind of forgot my client's head measurement, and I want to make sure it's bigger rather than smaller. So when we put it on, right, it'll sit here, but there's a lot of play right? So it's not super tight against my head, because if we messed with the mask and made it super tight, it would then warp the foam, because the foam is this malleable, mushable material. And we don't want Doom to look skinny, and we also don't want Doom to look wide, and kind of chunky. So we're going to do this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, if he wants to make it fit tighter, there's a few different things, right? So you can put other pieces of foam in here, which I would recommend, or you can put some kind of elastic band in that front part, right? Put some kind of stretchy elastic band in the front part, and that way that'll stretch to your head. Personally, I think you can put it on and you can just make it sit back on your head and anchor it back, and it'll be totally fine. The only worry is we don't want Doom to look like he has a huge cranium, which is okay. And the only reason we're doing this, normally I would never skirt this on any other helmet. The only reason we can get by with this one is because Doom wears a hood. It's like the only reason. Only reason we can do it. Dr. Doom has a hood. Makes it... I like building things that allows me to make as many mistakes as possible when I'm building it, because it's... and like shortcuts, mistakes, things like that. Because trying to get things perfect really hurts. It drives me wild. Let me go ahead and... Do these need to be sanded? They do not. I actually cut them well enough to not be sanded. Let's go ahead, put some contact cement on these bad boys and get them drying. But yeah, I might just make a Patriot Props YouTube channel just to upload all of these. They don't give me a file from Facebook, so I don't know how I'd be able to save these. But anyways, yeah, I might make a Patriot Props YouTube channel, honestly, just to upload these. And then I do like taking videos at conventions. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Charles. Like it's you could like totally screw up with the Dremel or like whatever, right? And it's just like, oh, I'll just add a vine or something, like that's what's so cool about characters like that. It's why I enjoy them. It makes it takes a lot of the stress out of the hobby, that's for sure. So I love it. It's gonna be a little hard to talk like this, but most of the time it comes through pretty clear. So, oh shit. Oh shit! Oh, damn! That was tough. We have too much contact cement in our in our grooves. Oh man, that's rough. Okay. Yep. Real tough. Okay, sweet. So we're gonna let that dry. Approximately 4 to 5 minutes is what I like for contact cements to get that nice sticky tackiness. So if you have any questions, go ahead, type them up down below. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, we just have to chill out for a second and wait for that to... It's not really dry, because you don't want it dry, but we wait for it to be tacky.
Oh, yeah, dude, you're fucked. You totally are. Pardon my French, but you totally are. It is an instant bond. So contact cement applies to itself. So it only sticks to itself. So once it gets tacky, it's there, dude. It's there. It's not something you want to screw up when you are putting things together. It's why registration marks are important. It's why kind of going slow and taking your time is important. Because it sucks, man. Yeah, if you screw up placing something with contact cement, it's like cut off that chunk or make a whole new piece or make two new pieces because it's rough. And sometimes you can hide it, like if you mess up a seam, you can hide a seam sometimes, which isn't so bad. But yeah, contact cement instantly bonds to itself. You can peel it apart, but it won't break the bond, but it will rip the foam. So sometimes the foam will only rip a little bit, so you can still sand it off, so it's fine. But yeah, like contact cement bonds instantly. So if you mess up, you mess up, and it sucks. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the fun of contact cement. I lifted up my mask and I kind of whiffed for a second. That's not good. My brain cells hurt. That's not good at all. This is terrible. I'm dying. I'm dying. No, I'm not dying. It's fine. It's fine. No, the cement is good. I love contact cement. It is, I've been using it for years. It's purely for this EVA foam and leather. That's it. So you just gotta, be careful. The fact of the matter is, it does bond things together permanently, which makes it way better than hot glue. Because hot glue, if it gets hot or if something else happens, it'll like fall apart. That was the biggest thing. And Joe, if you're still watching, you'll get a kick out of this. But I was doing a speech about how to make props and costumes, and it was summer. It was like August, right? And I'm in my car. I'm driving. I get there, and I was a little bit younger at the time, so it was for school, and it was a demonstration. So I had other props with me to show. And my second chainsaw I ever made from Evil Dead, my Evil Dead chainsaw, it was like mostly held together with hot glue. The blade was hot glued on the inside and hot glue on the outside. The black handle was hot glued. Everything except for like the wrist piece was hot glued to the chainsaw. And then I open my car, I grab the chainsaw by the top handle, it pulls right off, I grab the chainsaw, and everything else falls apart, and it's just a tea jug left. So that was how that chainsaw met its demise, was all the hot glue just melted off in my car. And I was like, I will never use only hot glue to hold something together ever again. So yeah, this stuff I like. Hot glue, hot glue did me dirty. This stuff can do you dirty while you're building it, but hot glue can do you dirty when you get somewhere, which is so rough. And it's nice and tacky, so let's give it a go, shall we? Bam. Bam. Just like that. We got it. That's a good side. That's a good side piece. Alright, sweet. The other side. Grab it. Let's give it a go. I kind of got to put this one on left-handed, so I'm not a fan. This side didn't go on as well, but that's okay. It's still good. They're still gonna fit.
Alright, sweet. So, that's those pieces. They're put on really well. I dig it. I dig it. I'm okay with it. So if anyone couldn't tell what I was saying, no hot glue. Hot glue is no bueno. That'll do you dirty. It really will. Alright, cool. And once I have those two glued together, it'll look pretty cool. So, now we're going to go on the inside and make sure there's nothing keeping us. Okay, so this is what I like here, right? This mask is going to have a few different air vents. Some masks you can get away with it, some masks you can't. This one is a happy accident. I did not plan to make an air vent. So, the only air vents that exist on this mask are right here. The eyes, the mouth. And the mouth will be mostly covered up as well, so that's a little dangerous. However, because there's a layer of foam here and a layer of foam here, even when I glue it to that flat piece, there's going to be a little air duct right here. So that way the mask will be able to have airflow straight through it, through the back, through the front. Super important. Almost can never make it work in any design. I think we really lucked into this one, being able to make airflow happen, so I'm very excited for that. But yeah, we're going to be able to do that. So, let's go ahead. I think we're going to just glue it together now. Yeah, glue that side to that side. And then this mask, it's scary for me to think of that this helmet will be done. This helmet, to even get this face shape, to even get this piece built, took me over a month. And I was wanting to pull my hair out working on this helmet. Getting this back part done wasn't that hard, but getting this face built, it was tough. And then trying to figure out how to put the face onto the back part without it looking just like total garbage. It was tough. It was really tough because it would warp the face and it looked so bad, and I quit. I just said, hey, look, man, I'm going to try to get your armor done whenever I can, but this is not working for me right now. So, but now, the idea that it's going to be done, to be fair, 4 months later, better late than never, just the idea that it's going to be done is awesome to me. I'm very excited. I know you too, Joanna. So yeah, I'm very, in this moment, I am euphoric that this is going to be done. Awesome. Okay, so here's another thing that's important. It's just like anything, well, not like anything, but because of the way contact cement is, Charles, if you're still watching this, it can evaporate. So if you live in a very humid climate, the glue will start, because it is an air drying glue, right? It'll start to evaporate. So that's one thing where you have to be very careful. In fact, my Captain America helmet, let me show it to you here really quick, because I instantly, I kind of rushed the build, right? I didn't do, normally what I would do is I would do 2 layers of contact cement, let the first layer dry almost completely, add a second layer. For some reason that helps. I don't know why that would help. More glue on top of more glue. For some reason it works. But if you can see, there's this line right here where the hot glue started to peel apart because it was instantly on my head. It was instantly out in the sun for several hours. So it started to evaporate while I was wearing it, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy. So anyways, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put some glue on the inside. First of all, to know where we need to put the glue, we're going to hold the piece to where it needs to go. And we're just going to outline that with a Sharpie really quickly. So now it goes from that on the inside, and we have a Sharpie line, if you can sort of see that. Okay. Very important, if these pieces were going to be too big to, if they would start to cover the eye holes, I was going to cut them up, but they're not going to cover the eye holes, which is awesome. So, very excited for that. Next up, we're going to give it a little bit of heat. The heat is going to help seal the foam a little bit and hopefully make the glue stick a little bit better. Is that where you're? I didn't know you're from Michigan. I'm not gonna lie. I knew you were around that area, but I have such a bad memory. I guess that's because the lakes, right? Is that would be? It gets humid just because of all the water. I would imagine humidity is tied to water in the air, so that makes sense. What Comic-Con are you going to that is gonna let you? Well, number one, that's even being Comic-Con. Number two. That you're going to take Swamp Thing to. I assume late this year, or maybe early next year? Or is it just like a project that you just want to get done to have? And just like, I don't need to take it anywhere. I just want to have a Swamp Thing costume. Because that's how I am with my Iron Man costume. I haven't taken it anywhere yet, and I just have it in my living room just because I think it's awesome. And I love that I made it, you know? It's basically like a big statue. Oh, that's another thing. When you make your Swamp Thing, whenever it's done, make a big PVC rack that can hold the costume. That way, when you're not in the costume, number one, it's probably in the best storage it will be, unless you put it in boxes with a lot of padding, you know, so nothing breaks. But make a big rack, and then you can have that as just like a Swamp Thing costume in your house. That won't scare people. My Iron Man costume doesn't scare people, you know, as a big costume, but yeah. Character. That's awesome, man. That's what it's about. Hey, in my opinion, making something because you love it, that's awesome. That's the best reason to ever make anything. Because so many... let me put the glue on this and then I'll go on a tangent. Because I was going to go into a tangent, but we might as well do that while the glue is drying.
But yeah, dude, that's what I love. That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to see. So, because the pieces are right on top of each other and we can't move them, we're going to put glue on the respective piece, and then we're going to put a piece of paper in between them, so that way they don't accidentally stick to each other. Very important, super duper important. We do not want them to stick to each other. Otherwise, we will have effectively really screwed up. And we don't want to screw up at this point, at this stage, because I am more than ready to be done working on this costume. Ah, where's my roll of paper? Where'd it go? Where's my roll of paper? Ah, there it is. Paper, very important. It's only 10 o'clock, Sean. Leave him alone. Dude, I like the Christmas tree idea. That's awesome. I really like that. So I don't see as many Batman and Spider-Man as I do Deadpool and Harley Quinn. I see, and I know Batman and Spider-Man are very popular as well, but the characters I see hands down the most are Deadpool and Harley Quinn. And it's cool that people like those characters, but I'm just very tired of seeing them. where it's honestly refreshing if somebody is not just comic Harley or Suicide Squad Harley, but it's instead. And then there's people that are just like, oh, these clothes sort of look like Harley Quinn, so I'll wear it. And it's like, geez, goodness gracious. You know, the amount of Amazon.com Deadpool suits that I've seen, oh, it just hurts my eyes. But that's okay. They're cosplaying the characters they love, so it's whatever. But, like, yeah, like Swamp Thing, like, yeah, he's a popular character, but he's not well known. Not to the levels of Spider-Man and Batman. So when you see someone cosplay a character that you know as a comic book fan, but you know that the general public won't really understand who it is, I love that. I saw, who was it last year? Yeah, like Hot Topic character, yeah, exactly. I saw Madcap. Freaking Madcap, dude. Someone was Madcap. That blew my mind. And I know he was in a Deadpool book recently, so he probably got a little more popular. But still, to me, like, Madcap was like a first appearance like Captain America villain. And he was just so weird. Like, seeing somebody, and even if he appeared in a Deadpool book, he's still not the Deadpool version of Madcap. He was normal Madcap, and that blew my freaking mind. Like, I don't know Howard the Duck is popular in his own right, but seeing someone like cosplay Howard the Duck, that's hilarious. And I don't like furries by any means, but it still blows my mind when people cosplay characters like that. But yeah, I love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, man. We're gonna let this bad boy dry. Hopefully, literally never. If I die and I'm never Harley Quinn or Deadpool, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, hopefully I literally never make a Harley Quinn or a Deadpool costume ever in my entire life. I did at one point. I did own a Deadpool mask. I am ashamed to say that was me at one point in time. But yeah. But like I went to an anime convention, a purely anime convention, and I was the comedian from The Watchmen because I liked the comedian, because I liked the way that costume looks, because I liked Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the role, and I got like a Judge's Choice Award, but by and large, nobody asked me for a picture at that convention because I wasn't from an anime. I was from a movie that was over 10 years old at the time, right? But I love the comedian. I think it's an awesome look for a character. I think it's an interesting character, and I just wanted to be that character. So yeah. Yeah, it was sweet. But that's what it's about. It's about cosplaying a character that you want to cosplay. Making it for yourself and not for anybody else. Because so many Instagram accounts or cosplay accounts, all they do is they just make whatever popular anime costume, whatever costume is like brand new, you know, and all they want is likes and follows and whatever. And that'll kill you on the inside. It really will. Like this one girl, and maybe, you know, she probably really liked the Scarlet Witch, but she made the end costume for Scarlet Witch, her, you know, her witch costume. She made that in a week. And it was amazing. And it was like, it didn't look like it was rushed at all. And I was like, dude, I hope you like the Scarlet Witch because you almost probably killed yourself on your sleep schedule trying to make something like that. It blows my mind. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I don't think the comedian would be a fan of anime at all. But yeah, dude, like seriously, you can't make costumes to be a people pleaser. You have to do it for yourself. Otherwise, this hobby will kill you. In my opinion, I think it really will. You know, and it makes you look really fake. like people that just make costumes just because of show. And sometimes you just want to make that costume because you saw the show and you're really excited. And I'm okay with that. But when I go to a YouTuber's YouTube channel and it's just a million different costumes of like, here's Vision from WandaVision, here's, U.S. agents, whatever, from Falcon and Winter Soldier, here's the TVA pruning sticks from Loki, or whatever. If it's just constantly making stuff just from new things, it's just like, dude, you're just trying to get likes and views, and that's okay, that's fine, but just don't kill yourself trying to make stuff that's purely just so you get more popular, And that's why, with HeroClix content and with cosplay, I will never be as popular as I could be, just because I don't want to make something just for likes and views. Like, I like My Hero Academia, but there's no character in that show that I want to cosplay. It just doesn't fit me. I'm not gonna force myself to be Deku or All Might or something, just so I get some like internet clout. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen like that. Let's talk commissions. So like what should someone charge for a commission? What I would charge for a commission? How you should go about asking for a commission? Like what are you curious about commissions? So like, number one, don't ask a cosplayer for a commission of something that they clearly haven't made before. So, you know what? I can talk about this. I think these are done. So we put the paper here so they wouldn't connect. Okay. You still have those air vents. It's what I like to see. It's what I like to see. All right. Cool.
It is attached. It is attached. Hey, I've commissioned people to make something for me too. So and actually, it is attached, and that doesn't look bad. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little goofy. So here's what we can do, right? Contact cement's still kind of fresh. Nope, we can't do that. That'll rip. Okay. It's gonna look like that. Oh, dude, awesome. Okay, so I love weapons. I freaking love that. I personally kind of hate making armor, but I wanted to make the Mark 1 Iron Man armor suit because I love the way that armor looks. Only reason. Freaking love that suit. Obviously, I wanted to make something from the first Iron Man movie because that movie, changed my life. So I love it. I mean, it changed everybody's life. It was the first Iron Man movie. I'm not special for liking an MCU movie. But first of all, the helmet's done. I'm so freaking excited. It's not perfect, but I can get my head in and out of there. It looks good. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Anyways, so, commissions. Number one, if you were going to ask a cosplayer for a commission, make sure they do that. I've had someone ask me for some like really wacky stuff, and I'm like, I don't sew. I don't know if you've noticed this, but all my costumes are foam, and if they're some other material, then I normally just buy that suit. Like, I don't make my Captain America suits. I can't sew. So don't ask somebody who can't sew or can't make foam for a foam commission, you want to ask, and even if they've done some sewing, because I've done some sewing, and I've done, and there are some sewers and seamstresses who have done some foam. Don't ask them to do what they're weak on. Ask them to do what they specialize in. So that's my number one thing, right? And if they've never made a full suit of armor, don't ask them to make a full suit of armor. Especially, even if they've only made one. Think about how long it probably took them to make that one. They probably won't get yours done in a long time. Second thing, understand that it's going to be expensive. It takes a long time to make all this stuff, and so many cosplayers are desperate to try to make something, but at the same time, they know that they don't want to charge too much, because here's what a cosplayer has to compete with a factory that has a mold that just, puts the plastic in a mold, and then it's like, here's 1 million Nerf guns, and a Nerf gun, costs $30. But if you told a cosplayer to make that gun, they've got to make it out of several layers of foam or wood, or they have to 3D print it and sand it and file it. It would cost triple or double the price of whatever that Nerf gun is. So it's this. You have to understand that it's like a handcrafted labor of love. And I'm not trying to just like mansplain or whatever. I hate that term. But I'm not trying to do that. But what I mean is like people who, like when they see someone like knitted a hat and they're like, oh, a knitted hat for $20, that's ridiculous, but it takes a long time to do that stuff. And they'll say like, I could just buy some yarn and I can knit that hat. It's like, go ahead, go for it. So number one, understand that it's going to be expensive. Like someone, I don't charge by the hour. I charge by the product because I love doing this. I also want to try to work as fast as I can. But 9 times out of 10, if I charge for this is a specialty skill that took me, 6 years to be as good as I am at it right now. And I'm not even that great, but it took me that long to get where I am. If I charge by the hour, I would want to charge like $20 something an hour, right? Because it's a very specific, special skill that only I have. But if I did that, my builds would cost way too much, So instead, for a suit of armor, I'll charge like $400, which is like nothing. It really is. And people will still hum and haw and be like, man, I don't know, $400 for a suit of armor? And I'm like, yeah, I should be charging $800, honestly. But I'm doing this because, number one, I think this suit is challenging. Doctor Doom is challenging. I knew it would challenge me, which is why I wanted to build Doctor Doom, which is why I said it was only going to be $400, because it's awesome. I made prop guns for like $60 when I probably should have charged like $100 or something for them, because I went like way above and beyond. But yeah, I love making weapons, dude. I have some pictures of it. I made the Ace of Spades from Destiny. It's like the Destiny hand cannon. I loved making that gun. Let's grab a few other ones here. Captain America's Wakandan shields. I loved making these. Those were great. Obviously, Mjolnir. More simplistic. This is probably one of the more complicated weapons I ever made. And I didn't have a pattern for this, but this is the Emperor from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I love this gun. I think it was super fun to make, and it looks just like it, So I had a blast building this thing, So I love making guns. I love making weapons. So if you want to, a gun like this, I would probably place this at around $80 to make. So if it's like this, and that's because it's also complicated, right? It's not a flat piece. It's got a lot of different pieces going on. It's really crazy, This is like 3 layers of foam plus all sorts of stuff, right? So I would say around $80 for a weapon like this to be made and totally painted and everything. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what goodness gracious. Let me know what your budget's gonna be, and I can work with people. I know I'm saying like, hey, understand it's gonna be expensive. At the same time, I'll work with people and try to make it as not expensive as possible. I collect everything Captain America. I collect comic books, hero clicks, whatever, right? So I'll gladly be paid and stuff like that. I just, swords. I built 1 or 2 swords. I can't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like making swords. I really like making guns. That's not because I'm like a Second Amendment person or anything. I'm just like, these are easier to make. Swords, on the other hand, they're also simplistic, right? So where guns are complicated, swords just have a fundamental flaw a little bit. So I think we're done working on props, so I'll just talk a little bit more about props and talk about swords here. I built one sword before. That's a lie. I built two swords. Um, did I build three? Okay, I don't know if I built three or not. I built two swords for sure. I like using foam. Because I like using foam, foam is all wobbly, right? A sword is very long and very straight, and it's not super thick. So I have to normally build around a piece of like dowel rod for the sword, which can be a little bit troublesome too. I don't hate it, and I don't hate it. I made the Steven Universe sword. It was this pink sword. It was like a quartz thing. I've never watched that show. I don't know. But that was actually a pretty fun sword to make. The handle had like these little flowery bits. The guard had some flowery bits. It was a pretty fun sword. I actually enjoyed making. I've never seen Steven Universe, but I really enjoyed making this like pink sword, pretty much, right? It was cool. I really liked it. So I'll make a sword. I made a machete. That's what it was. It wasn't really a sword, but it's like a long blade thing, right? Yeah, I'll totally make a sword. Swords, depending on the length, probably like $100. Maybe 120. There's no way, unless the sword is like a Buster Blade sword, those humongous anime swords. I don't think it would be over 150 for any sword, unless it's over that. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, and honestly, there are some people I know, like, another thing about cosplayers, they want to make commissions, they want to do that. Sometimes I'll just give people to other people and be like, hey, I know so-and-so makes this really well. So, like, if you wanted, like, the Wonder Woman, like, God Killer sword from the first Wonder Woman movie, I know a guy who makes casts of those, and they're amazing. So I wouldn't even try to make one. I'd be like, hey, just go check out this dude. He makes, like, the best Wonder Woman's. Oh, Berserk. Yeah, so that sword's stupid big, bro. What are you talking about? That sword's freaking huge. Let's Google Guts Berserk sword really quick. I guess he has two swords, doesn't he? Guts Berserk sword. Yeah, that sword's stupid big. So here's the thing, right? I wouldn't make it out of foam, and I wouldn't be able to ship it to you. Uh, because I would be so worried of that thing breaking. He has two swords. He has one really thick sword and one kind of not thick sword. Yeah, he has one kind of longer, thinner sword and one crazy, just thick base sword. Which is just wild. Goodness gracious. I do like Berserk, though. Rest in peace. Yeah, so a Berserk sword would have to be around 250 or so. I think it would be a fun project to make. So with that thing, I would make that out of insulation foam, which is this pink, really dense foam that they sell at a hardware store. I like it. I actually don't hate making stuff out of it. I made axes and other things out of it, but I just didn't want to make it out of EVA foam. So that pink foam is just a different beast to try to tackle. And damn, that sword is so big. It's cool though. Him and Asta have those huge freaking swords. But yeah, I would do that for around like 250 or something. And I know that seems like a lot, but I think it would be 250, and then I would also ship it to you with that price. Because there's two ways to go about this, right? We can cut the sword in half, or it's just going to be a humongous box. Oh, thank God. Okay. Thank goodness. I'm not gonna lie. I was like looking at the gut sword. I'm like, I could do it, I guess. I could try to make that sword. I'm sorry that there's 8 people watching, and I'm not building anything, but I'm talking about building things. So if you think that's interesting, by all means, continue. Um, yeah, I know it's not a bad price, but that's because I really try to give people the best deal as I could. And number two, while I'm cosplaying, like while I'm building this stuff, I normally watch TV at the same time. So my focus is still on the costume, but it also gives me an excuse to like get caught up on like wrestling or watch an anime I haven't watched in a while. And I just love doing it. So if you love doing something, you can do it for the less. What I need is a short sword in the style of a saber, but it looks plant and root-like. Interesting. Is that a thing Swamp Thing can do? Can he make like his plant body parts swords. Is that a thing? Do they do that? I literally have no clue what Swamp Thing can do. I'm a Man Thing fan. Proud Man Thing, Howard the Duck fan. Never, I'm not trying to diss Swamp Thing, but I'm just saying, I genuinely have no idea if that's like something you can do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good, man. Pictures are a huge help. Uh, as any cosplayer knows, trying to find as much reference material as you possibly can is basically, you're working, Jason. My man Jason out here 3D printing. Listening to me of all people. Wow, yikes. Maybe I gotta start a cosplay podcast. Maybe that's what I need to start doing. That would be fun, actually. I would dig that. Let's see here. Well, we finished the Dr. Doom mask. It's done. It ain't perfect, but it's done. That's all that matters. I honestly think this side is bigger than this side. I'm gonna actually cut out this side and this whole seam here, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, so that way it fits on the head better, because it is a commission, so we might as well do it a little better. Yeah, Jason. Hey, let's get in the works. Let's do a cosplay podcast, Jason. Let's do it. That'd be fun. We could have several like guests on and stuff too. We could have much props on. That'd be sweet. I think we could. There's not a lot of cosplay podcasts. Yeah, I might start working on that. I recorded, because I do the dialogue for HeroClix podcast, I recorded 2 podcasts where we just talked about conventions we went to, and we got no feedback on those. So I don't know if people liked them or not. It was still like, nerd related or whatever. So we'll see. But yeah, like, I totally want to do a cosplay podcast and wanted to do it for a long time. If you want to shoot me an idea for like a name, let me know, because that's like the one thing I've been struggling. I was gonna go with Nerd Country. That was my big plan. Like, from anime to action figures, from cosplay to comic books, you've entered Nerd Country. I think it'd be funny, but that's me thinking that. So I don't totally know. This is old Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's done. Now I just have to make the boots and the gloves. That's it, man. Just boots and gloves. And then that's it. That's all she wrote for the dictator of Latveria. Just boots and gloves. That's all I gotta do. I was literally home all day, and I kind of like watched YouTube and did whatever, and I was like, I have to do a Facebook Live. I have got to do a Facebook Live. I've got to make this. Oh, gotta make this armor. And I finally did it. Let's see. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. I'm gonna call it a night because I'm texting a little bit here, so I apologize. We're gonna start trying to do this more weekly. This is my lie that I tell you guys every single week. I might talk about getting a YouTube and whatever ready. I do enjoy the cosplay, all that jazz. So, Jason, good luck printing. Charles, I'll get to you. Everybody else that tuned in, thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and leave a comment in the comment section below. This isn't a YouTube video, but yeah. See you guys. Appreciate you.